Frangie Show on Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
All right, the new drug today is the day closer to yet another football weekend that we all love. Frangie, Carlion, La Selva with you. All come on, it's a busy day today in terms of stuff going on. CJ Gardner-Johnson cut. Baseball's going to the challenge. Did you see that?
I did.
I mean, today's one of those days. There was a lot of stuff today. Mike Gundy out. Today was one of those days where all kind of stuff.
Lots of stuff. Lots of NFL injuries, stuff like that.
I love stuff.
Lots of stuff.
I love days with a lot of stuff. So all kind of stuff today. So a lot of stuff we will get to. JJ, how do you feel about the umpires, about the ABS challenge system?
I feel like I knew it was coming. I've always been the guy, like, I don't want any robot umps involved, but if we're going to do it, just do the whole thing. So I'm like, we're sort of going halfway with the challenge. Why don't we just make every single call a robot ump call at this point?
And I wonder if we're headed there eventually. This is like a step toward that, maybe. It certainly feels like to me this is a step in that direction. It's hard for me to think that's not where this thing is headed. And so I get the hunch of it. But it'll significantly change the game now.
Oh, yeah. We saw it in spring training, I guess, for the last season or two.
What I hope it will do, and I do believe it will, this is a big story now. This is a big story in baseball. What I hope it will do is eliminate the egregiously bad ones. You know, it's you're gonna. I mean, I'm glad. The good thing about a challenge system is, I think an umpire develops a strike zone and it can move a little bit. What you don't want is the one way outside or way high or way low, and it'll do that. But it's really interesting. We're going to get into it later on in the program. I don't want to get into it all right now, but because it's a challenge system. And only the pitcher, catcher, or batter can challenge it, right? I mean, do you want your 9-hole batter challenging it, and then Aaron Judge can't? I mean, do you tell your 8 or 9-hole guy he can't challenge it?
Yeah. The other thing too that I liked about it, and I didn't realize this, is in the last 2 years, over 60% of all ejections have been a result of arguing balls and strikes. And Major League Baseball wants to get fewer ejections, obviously.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's a good move. I mean, obviously, you guys watch the sport. I'm a casual fan at best.
Right.
But yeah, it seems to make sense that you anything that would, create fewer ejections, you would certainly, want in your sport.
Looks like Bobby Cox's record is
safe.
It's very safe.
Yeah, and by the way, the reason the ejections are all for balls and strikes is that's the one thing the umpires are told more than anything else they don't have to tolerate. Everything else, they're expected to give the manager or the player a little bit of rope. They're pretty much told you do not have to give any rope. How many times, JJ, you watch as much baseball as I do, how many times have you seen an umpire take the mask off, point to a dugout, and say that's enough, right?
Oh, yeah. You're not even allowed to argue balls and strikes. It's like, a rule, which you never see that in any, like, oh, well, you can't argue if that's out or not. It's only balls and strikes.
If you're watching a baseball game, he and JJ and I watch a lot of games. If you're watching a game, let's say you're watching a game without the sound, you got the three games all up in one, and you got one game and you don't have the sound on. You'll watch the pitch from the center field camera. That's always the pitching camera, and you'll see a close call. Then you'll see the umpire take his mask off.
Yeah.
Look at what you can't hear because you're not listening to the broadcast, right? You'll just hear the umpire see the umpire take his mask off, look and point to the dugout. And what he's saying is that's enough. No more balls.
That reminds me of my dad when I was growing up at a restaurant. He gives you that
That's
look.
right. Exactly
It's like,
right.
one more time.
Yeah. And then sometimes he keeps staring and then throws somebody, or he puts his mask back on. And invariably, by the way, when he gives the warning, within an inning or two, he's going to eject somebody. So you can see that. But anyway, it'll I'm telling you, if you're a baseball fan, that is a massive change in baseball, a massive change. So we'll see what happens. We'll talk about that later on. All kind of stuff. Mike Gundy got fired today. Russ Wilson got benched today. I mean, it was just that CJ Gardner-Johnson got cut today. I mean, as Tuesdays go, I mean, it was a busy day for stuff.
And, Billy Napier could get fired any minute.
Yeah, well, and by the way, Billy Napier not getting fired could be news too, right? So I mean, and do you think the first thing Gator fans said when they saw the Mike Gundy news?
Of course.
Why not us?
Yeah.
Why not us? Why not now?
Every other school can apparently do this and not lose half their roster, but Florida is petrified of watching half of a bad team leave.
Why not us? Why not now?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it was a busy day today, and so all kind of fun stuff that we'll get to. And by the way, and what a game last night.
Oh, yeah.
What that might have been.
The Lions were really impressive.
They really were. That might have been the best game I've watched this year. Now, I fell asleep. Bills-Ravens, I fell asleep. So that might have been better if I had stayed awake. And last night I stayed awake. But that was, for me.
Yeah, this didn't have like the lead changes, but it was a great, very well executed game.
And it really was. And I mean, did you, two things. And I'm going to ask them in conjunction. How many people had Ravens 1 and 2 to start the season on their bingo card? B, when did people start talking about their bingo cards? When did that happen? When did that become the phrase?
Great question.
And when's the last time you played bingo?
Yeah, I mean, how many people?
I-19.
Yeah. How many people that say, "Hey, didn't have that on my bingo card"? Have ever played bingo?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people? I want to know the percentage of people that say, "Hey, didn't have that on my bingo card."
Yeah.
Have ever played bingo?
Yeah.
Give me a percentage. 12?
3.2.
Tops, right?
Yeah, I think that phrase is replaced. Remember, we're like
didn't
20
have that on
years
my
ago,
bingo card.
Yeah, the phrase was, "You do the math."
Yeah.
I think it's graduated to maybe that. But
JJ, have you ever played bingo?
Of course I have. I mean, it's probably been 20 years.
Yeah, you were a child.
Yeah,
didn't have that on my bingo card.
It's only for young, very, very young people or very, very old people.
It's not a lot of in between with bingo.
But having now that I got that out of the way, the Ravens are 1 and 2.
And guess who they play on Sunday? The 1 and 2 Kansas City Chiefs. So that is a game. Who would have thought in Week 4, Chiefs Ravens becomes a bit of a game of desperation. I think more for the Chiefs than the Ravens because the Chiefs are in a very difficult division. The Chargers look like they have really got something special brewing.
And the Ravens have looked way better than the Chiefs.
Correct. And you also have the Broncos in that division who I think will wake up. And the Raiders I don't think are a big threat, but in the the North, you've got basically Cincinnati doesn't have Burrow. Cleveland doesn't have an offense. I still don't know how they beat Green Bay 13-10. They do have a great defense. I guess that's how. And
Pittsburgh.
And then Pittsburgh I don't think is a real threat. So I think Baltimore will end up being okay there. But yeah, 1 and 2 versus 1 and 2 Sunday, and it's very disappointing for the Ravens. And Derrick Henry all of a sudden is, I mean, he's been a clutch player throughout his entire career, but he has now cost Baltimore in both losses with costly fourth quarter fumbles.
Pete Prisco had an interesting take on social. He posted on X that both Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley have not been themselves early in the year. Did they get too many carries last year? I mean, I'm not smart enough to know that.
The data says yes.
But it's a good question, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't so much an issue with Henry, but definitely it was a big storyline with Saquon because his workload last year was historically high, when you factor in the Super Bowl run as well. So people were curious if Saquon Barkley's body would hold up. So far, his body's held up, but he isn't as effective. So is that Saquon wearing down? Are there other elements to that? But definitely a trend as we get into October that will be closely followed.
All right, a lot of things to talk about today on the program. When we come back, we're going to talk Jags and Niners. Is there any history there, the significance of the game, what it will mean if the Jaguars win the game? We'll certainly talk about that. That comes up on the program today. We'll certainly talk about that. We've got our Duval County Scholar Athlete at the bottom of the hour. We certainly look forward to that. That's always a lot of fun on the program. Hayes has got his NFL Rewind. We've got that coming up. Jeff Danzler is going to stop by to talk some SEC football. We got headlines as well. We got all kind of fun stuff, so we're glad you're with us. Let's talk some Jags after this on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
He's got quite a resume.
Ex-Special Forces tactician.
Hayes Carline.
Well-trained in hand-to-hand combat.
Behind enemy lines. 5 hours before kickoff on 1010XL. Activated by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Frangie here for Coyle Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in '96? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle Fencing. Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida since 1927. Heck, Coyle has been installing fences since before Emery Billard installed the wishbone offense. If you need a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle Fence today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Get ready, poker players. The World Poker Tour is coming back to Best Bet Jacksonville from October 30th through November 18th. It's your chance to become a World Poker Tour champion with 14 different poker tournaments to play, including the Best Bet Scramble, a $5,000 no-limit hold'em main event with a $1 million guarantee. Satellites and mega satellites are going on now at Best Bet Jacksonville. For the full WPT schedule and more information, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Here's hoping for a Raise the Roof football season. And here's knowing Next Gen Roofing is up for any job. Game day or storm season, you need a team you can trust. And you know what? You don't need a glitzy roofing company. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, no nonsense. Solid roofs at competitive prices and a commitment to the First Coast community. Right now, save up to $300 on your next roof replacement. When you need a roof, you need Next Gen Roofing. Team with you, it's a win every time.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
With the game on the line and a shot to close it out, the teal and black defense wouldn't allow the chance to slip through their fingers. In the fourth quarter, Antonio Johnson would grab the game-winning interception from C.J. Stroud, giving Jacksonville a 17-10 victory with 27 seconds left in regulation. The Johnson interception is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
And we sure appreciate our friends from the Nimnick family of dealerships. Man, it's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. You can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. I'm telling you, if you want a truck, man, and people drive trucks these days, there's no better place to get a truck than Nimnick Chevrolet on Cassett, Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. You want an automobile, you want a truck, you want SUV, you want newer used, you want Nimnik, and always a Nimnik Tuesday around here. Frangie and Carline and JJ LaSelva with us. The 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, where is he ranking best coaches in the league? Where is he a top 5 guy, top
Absolutely.
10 guy? He's really good, right? I mean,
really good.
And respected is really good.
Yeah, very elite offensive mind, and has done a nice job in San Francisco. I mean, when the 49ers are healthy under Kyle Shanahan, they go to the Super Bowl. When they're not healthy, they struggle, and they're not healthy this year. But it's incredible what the 49ers are still doing, really on both sides of the ball. But they lead the NFL in passing yards per game, and Brock Purdy's been hurt, and Mac Jones has had to play. So it hasn't. They're down George Kittle. They've been down, obviously, Brandon Ayuk all year. Juwan Jennings has been hurt. Their leading receiver their leading receiver in terms of receptions is Christian McCaffrey. So it's pretty hard to lead the NFL in passing yardage, and your running back is the one that's leading you in receptions. But they're getting good play out of Ricky Pearsall, the former Gator, that's averaging 17.6 yards a catch. So, it shows once San Francisco is healthy, assuming they get healthy, they expect to get Ayuk back. They expect to get Kittle back. They'll probably have Purdy against the Jaguars. So it's rounding into form. It will round into form, around midseason for them. But it's amazing to me what the 49ers, they're not scoring particularly well. They're at 19.7 points a game. That's 23rd in the NFL. So, but the fact that they are finding ways to move the ball, the fact that they're 8th on third down offensively speaks to the Shanahan system.
I thought Mac Jones was as good in that last drive against Arizona as I've seen him as a pro. I mean, he was very good at bowls. He was very good at Alabama when he finally got to play, obviously. I thought, and obviously he went to the Pro Bowl as a rookie in New England, so he did enough good things there. But I thought, for me watching him, Hayes, I thought he was as good on that last drive. For people that don't know, they played Arizona. Game was tied. They got the ball. The 49ers got the ball back deep in their own territory and got called for holding in the end zone, which is the safety. So they went down 2 points. They had to get the ball back, so they got the ball back down 15-13. And I thought Mac Jones was as good. He looked like a guy that had been in the league 15 years, didn't he? He's
and
poised,
battled through a knee injury.
And was playing while hurt. But I thought just watching his command of the 2-minute offense, his command, when to check it down, when not to, when to throw it away, when it was there, when it wasn't, finding holes in the Arizona defense. I thought Mac Jones, it's interesting. I mean, by the way, in his last 2 games, in these 2 games he's had to play, Purdy played the first game against Seattle. They won. They're 3-0. He threw for 279 in one game and 284 in the other. He's been good. I mean, listen, everything was broken here last year. But I wasn't sure Mac Jones was very good last year here. Now, again, a lot of players weren't good last year. But after the injury to Trevor, I hoped Mac Jones would come in, and I didn't think he wasn't nearly as good last year as he's been in these 2 games this year.
Without a doubt. But you bring up a good point in terms of environment. I mean, now he's working with Picasso. Last year with Doug Peterson and Press Taylor, he was working with a 2-year-old holding a crayon. Mm-hmm. And so it makes such a big difference. We talk about it all the time. But Mac Jones is a striking example, probably one of the biggest examples that you can find in terms of going from a staff that lacked any sort of creativity and ran a completely outdated system to going to somebody who has been able to keep it fresh. I mean, Shanahan has evolved. Obviously, he's been doing this for a while, but it is a quarterback's dream. It's the reason why they can take a player who was, Mr. Irrelevant and turn Brock Purdy into one of the elite quarterbacks in the game. I don't know that the Brock Purdy story happens anywhere else, there aren't very many places, I think, where that story could have happened. But if you're able to get a command of how Shanahan sees the game as a quarterback, you've really got a chance for success. And Mac has certainly embraced it. And I thought he was really cool, too, in the post game. He was like, this is Brock's team, and I can't wait to hand it back to him. I'm just glad I was able to get us a couple of wins while he recovers. So such a team-first guy as well. But
that's who he is.
But he made a fantastic choice after the debacle here to get with one of the NFL's brightest, maybe the brightest offensive mind in the NFL.
So the 49ers schedule looks like this. They're 3-0. They play the Jags Sunday afternoon. Hayes, after this, they go to the Rams and to the Bucs in back-to-back games. So you're going to be tested. 4 of their next 5 games are on the road. That includes a trip to Houston, who may or may not be resuscitated by then, and a trip to the Giants. The one home game in between there's Atlanta. So this is a big game for them. I know they're 3-0, but we talk about the Jaguars 4-game gauntlet that starts this week. Well, there's a gauntlet of sorts waiting for the 49ers. So, and again, that's the way the league is, by the way. There's 17 games. If you play that many games, it's 17 games. You know, I mean, the college guys are gnashing their teeth when they went from 11 to 12 years ago, and now with the championship, there's 17 games. That's a lot of football games. I mean, when you think of how physical football is, so in that stretch, they'll be up and down. So it'll be interesting to see. One other thought about this game is this, and we talk about relevance, we talk about importance. The Jaguars obviously have been a team that have been. We all know this. The Jaguars have struggled. We all know. We're here. We live it. And because of that, the perception isn't great. Well, there's a home game against the Kansas City Chiefs a week from Monday. That's a game that I hope people will go to. I hope we sell that game out. I hope there's tickets. I hope there's no tickets to be had there, because that's an opportunity to show the world that this team's legit. Well, you go win this week on the road against I don't care who plays quarterback for them, on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. You come back 3-1. The whole world knows you probably ought to be 4-0. You're playing a nationally televised game with Buck and Aikman here against the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, I tell you what, that's a real opportunity to show the world that it has happened early on. I mean, again, people are going to be watching that game either way. It's just a Monday night game. But if you win, Hayes, if you win against San Francisco, you're 3-1 and an impressive 3-1, and you're on Monday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. That could fill up the dang place. People go buy tickets to that thing. That could be a really huge night.
And the Chiefs might be 1-3.
That's right.
So there would be, if that's the case, if your hypothetical on the Jaguar side holds and the Jaguars win at San Francisco to get to 3-1, and Baltimore beats the Chiefs, as I expect they will. But, we'll see. That's kind of a coin flip game. But I think it's a chance the Ravens win. If Kansas City comes in 1-3 versus a 3-1 Jaguars, there is an element of is this not necessarily a passing of the torch,
changing of the guard,
Jaguars?
Yeah.
But it is like that's if you're Kansas City at 1-3 coming to Jacksonville, can't leave 1-4.
Right.
I mean, at some point you got to start winning these games. And if any team could do it, it would be the Chiefs to survive a 1-4 start and rally to get back to another Super Bowl. But, boy, they would be putting themselves in a massive hole, particularly in that division. So it really could be an outstanding next, 10 days, 11 days of football here to see. Because, I think the Jaguars match up very well with San Francisco.
I do too.
Particularly the way they're configured now. I mean, if they had Ayuk and Kittle and, they were full strength and Bosa, then, I don't know that I'd give the Jaguars much of a chance to go out to San Francisco and get the win. But the 49ers are very wounded right now. And they are playing well, but they're 3-0. But all the games have been close. They beat Seattle by 4. They beat a dreadful Saints team by 5. And like you mentioned, they had a walk-off to beat the Cardinals to win by 1. So they're hanging in there, and they deserve credit for that. But I also think that, they would be susceptible to losing to the Jaguars. And then if the Jaguars, again, facing Kansas City, the Chiefs have some issues. So I think there'd be several matchups in both those games that I would favor the Jaguars in.
Yeah, the to your point about the 49ers, Kittle's on IR, as everybody knows now. Ayuk has been hurt. Juwan Jennings has played hurt. Mac Jones has played hurt. And Brock Purdy's been too hurt to play. And so
and they just lost Nick Bosa. I mean, defensively,
right.
San Francisco is doing great things. They're 4th in total yards. They're 7th on third down. But to not have Nick Bosa, particularly when that's probably the weak spot of the Jaguars' offensive line, is that protecting it at left tackle with Walker Little. That's something that really helps the Jaguars out in this matchup.
All right, more about that coming up. Let's take a break. When we come back, though, let's say hello to our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. That's next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline here to let you know about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you'll love new Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip. These are game changers. They're as delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You've got to try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at a grocery store near you.
Big Chief Tire makes auto care more affordable with 6-month financing through the CFNA credit card. Frank Frangie here. Plus, get $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. Whether you need new tires, brake service, or general repairs, their expert technicians have you covered. With no interest for 6 months, now's the perfect time to take care of your vehicle. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to apply today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harrell & Harrell. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harrell & Harrell. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Bari here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Bari Orthopedics today or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
This is Jaguar Hall of Famer Tony Baselli telling you about Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and home remodeling company. With over 25 years of trusted experience, Heritage of North Florida has built a reputation for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. Whether you need a new roof or updating your kitchen or bathroom, trust the pros at Heritage of North Florida to create the perfect place to call home. Mention Jaguars to get $1,500 off your next roof or kitchen remodel when you go to heritagenfl.com. Go Jags!
I'm Frank Frangie. Now, I've been telling you about my daughter Amber's journey with Awaken 180. Well, ready for this? She has now lost 60 pounds. That number's real, 60 pounds in a little over 3 months. And here's the thing, she loves doing it. She just went on a trip to Tampa to see a concert, sort of a road trip. And I asked her, was it hard to stay on the diet? She said, Dad, that's just it. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change, and it's sustainable. And it's sustainable even when you're on the road. She is so excited. It has not changed her life. I think that's the best thing. It's a lifestyle change, but it doesn't ruin your life. She's loving her life, and she's so excited that she's been able to lose all that weight. You can do the same thing. You can kickstart your transformation. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It's working for Amber, and she's so excited, and I promise you it can work for you. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Hey, let's go!
And now, this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
All right, today's Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week is Morgan Williams. She is from Atlantic Coast High School. How are you, Morgan? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. And you are a volleyball player, both volleyball and beach volleyball.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about volleyball, how you got involved in it, and why it's kind of a special deal for you.
So I got involved in volleyball around like 5th grade, I think. And I just like instantly fell in love with it. My dad kind of pushed me to start trying it. I used to really be involved in gymnastics, but I kind of realized I was maybe a little too tall for that. Maybe I should put my height in something. Yeah. And my dad always pushed me to try it. And I really just loved it and kept going on from there.
Very cool.
What position do you play in indoor?
In indoor, I play right side and outside hitter.
Okay. You have a favorite game that you can tell us about, a favorite performance that you've had or a team win?
I think my favorite memory is going to be from my freshman year. I played at Christchurch Academy before Atlantic Coast, and we went to the state championship.
Oh.
We drove all the way to Naples, and that bus ride was really fun.
Yeah.
We were all getting really hype. We ended up losing, but it was just a really great memory with my teammates. and haven't gone so far.
Very cool. So tell us about beach volleyball. We were talking during the break about how beach volleyball has recently become a high school championship sport, but you love beach volleyball. Tell us how it's different. We know there's 2 players, not a team full of players, but tell us how the strategy is different and why beach volleyball is really a cool deal.
Yes, sir. Beach volleyball is definitely grown a lot in the past few years. I really love it. It's just, it takes a different type of player to play beach volleyball. You kind of have to be good at every kind of single thing, because indoors is very different to where you're good at one certain skill, but you have to work together with your teammate a lot more communication, be able to put the ball down faster, because nobody really wants to be going in the sand for a good long rally.
What's the strength of your game, would you say?
I'd say probably passing. I really like that. I'm usually up at the net blocking, and a lot of times I'll be playing with a partner who's just as tall as me, so we can kind of switch back and forth between passing and defense.
Well, that's very cool. So tell us about college a little bit. What are your plans? What's the next step for Morgan?
My future plans are probably going to be, I'm going to apply to University of South Florida and pursue pre-law or political science. I just want to try to help people who say they don't have, feel like they don't have a voice or have no help, and I want to be the voice for them, kind of.
Very cool. Why USF? Why did that get your attention?
I just really love the campus. I have some friends who are going there, and it's just really pretty. I like how many clubs they have, how many stuff they offer. Just I really would like to be involved and not just kind of a hermit a little bit.
Absolutely. What's your favorite club that you're involved with in high school, or your favorite community service project that you've been involved in?
One of my friends recently started a club. It's called Jack's Thrive, and we've been doing that the past year. It's to help support refugee families, and we usually just do little things that could help. Last year we did this food drive for them, and we wrote all Christmas cards. It was really fun to get together and give them back.
Well, very cool. So take us through the rest of the school year now. Take us through volleyball. What's your schedule, the plan for the rest of the fall? And then, of course, spring is beach volleyball. But how's your team this year? Tell us a little bit about the indoor.
This year, we have a pretty new team. Last year, we had about 6 seniors graduate, so it's a little bit of a rebuilding year. But it's been a great season so far. I mean, we do have a bunch of young talent on the team, and we're all really great friends on the team, so we work together pretty good. This year has been a little bit of a struggle with getting our rhythm down in games, but right now we're starting to win a bunch more, and I see it going good for Gateway.
And tell us about beach. I know that's not until the spring, but do you know who you'll be playing with, your playing partner? How does that work?
I don't know my partner yet, but I'm really excited to find out who it will be. And I think beach is going to be the most fun season I've had so far. I'm really excited for it.
Well, very cool. Well, Morgan Williams is our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. She's an outstanding student, hopes to go to USF and study pre-law. She's from Atlantic Coast High School, an outstanding volleyball player, both indoor and beach volleyball. Congratulations, Morgan. Great to meet you.
Thank you so much.
All right, Morgan Williams is our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. It is great having her in here from Atlantic Coast High School. And again, they're in indoor season now. And then the beach season commences in the springtime. It really is cool because we were talking about during the break that we all played beach volleyball, but beach volleyball wasn't really a thing from a championship level till recently. And JJ made a good point. We've watched it in the Olympics for a long time, but it's really become a big deal in the high school.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it is very new. And it's another opportunity for young people to get out there and have that well-rounded academic athletic experience. So it was great meeting Morgan, and I know she'll do great things at USF.
No question about it. Let's take some college thought or two before we get to headlines real quick. Did you see where John Mateer, the outstanding Oklahoma quarterback, just won a thriller against Auburn, hurt his thumb in that game, having surgery, and is down for a while?
That's the big massive loss, and really, it's early, but it's a little curveball on the early Heisman race because he certainly had a ton of buzz. But yeah, that's tough for the Sooners. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but we're now to the part of the season where you're playing conference games now. I would imagine that, the next 3 weeks, that's probably either a bye or a conference game. And obviously in the SEC, there aren't a whole lot of gimmies. The Sooners, don't play Florida. So, I would assume that, they might be in a bind.
Another thing we'll talk about as the week goes along, but before we get to headlines, I will bring this up. I'm interested in Friday night's Florida State-Virginia game. I think FSU's really good. I think they're a legit top 10 team. I think we've seen it. They handily beat a good Alabama team. I mean, that's Alabama. And then they've had 2 easy ones since then. But it is the first road game. It's the first road game with an entirely new group. Virginia is 3-1. They lost at NC State in a game they were up in the second half by 10 points. And NC State came back in Raleigh and won the game. And the quarterback there is Chandler Morris. Have you followed his story? He's Chad Morris's kid. Remember Chad Morris, the SMU coach? And like all quarterbacks today, he's been at about 84 schools. And I don't know if you followed this or not, but he has.
Oh, they're having a great year offensively.
Yeah. And he's 8 touchdowns and 1 pick for Virginia already. He had 31 touchdowns and 12 interceptions at, I think it was North Texas last year. He played 12-5 at TCU before that. So this guy, he's been around. Now, again, it's Chad Morris's kid, so he's been around football all his life. I think FSU's going to go up there, and by the end, we'll have won handily. But it'll be a great test for them with the Canes around the corner. That'll be a fun watch on Friday night.
I think so, too, because to me, it's a little bit of a tough spot for FSU from an intangible standpoint because it's Friday night. Road game in the league. So Virginia probably isn't normally a tough place to play, but that's going to be like their game of the year.
Sure.
And so however loud it can get, we're going to find out Friday night. I also think the other thing, while Florida State has looked impressive, it's been against obviously a division, an FCS school in East Texas A&M and then Kent State. They've looked impressive, but to me, it'll be interesting. I think there's a little bit of a challenge for Mike Norvell and his staff. They looked great against Alabama. That was almost a month ago now. So you really haven't had any sort of what I would say competitive threat.
They haven't been tested
in a long time. And I think that'll be interesting to see how they handle that on the road. The line was smaller than I thought it would be.
What is the line?
I saw it at 7.5.
Yep.
And so I thought it would be more like 12.5. But I'm with you. I would give the 7.5. I like Florida State. I could see it being a little tricky for a while, but I don't think Virginia is defensively very good. So they may score some, but I'd be surprised if Florida State gets really pushed to the final minutes.
It'll be the first game we can all watch Florida State as a team with expectations. There were no expectations. Everybody thought Alabama was going to bury them, and then they walloped Alabama, and I thought really laid it to them. Then other than Noel fans, nobody's watched the last 2 games because it's East Texas A&M and Kent State, so nobody paid attention. They scored 60-70 in both games. But now it's a nationally televised game. It's the only game on. It's a Friday night game. It's not going against the NFL games on Thursday or the NFL game on Thursday. It's not going against other college games. Yeah, it's got to fight college football high school football. But that's a game people will say, okay, this will give us a good idea. Again, I'd be very surprised if FSU's not double digits better. But it's a good barometer for all of us to now sit back and watch the Noles. Again, the Alabama game kind of came out of nowhere and walloped us upside the head, right? And, oh, my God, they just walloped Alabama. Boom. And then we haven't really been, to your point, we haven't really been, unless you're a Seminole fan, you haven't really paid attention to them for 2 weeks, so you really haven't seen them.
It's more like 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, that's right. But two
they had that
games.
bye immediately.
Yeah. Correct. But that's right. But so however long it's been, you haven't really paid attention to them since the Alabama game that had your jaw dropping. So it'll be fun to watch what FSU is now in a game with expectations and with the target on their back. And again, I think they'll be okay this week, but it'll be a fun one to watch, no question. Let's take a break. Hayes has headlines after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Folks, are you looking for a better used car shopping experience? Well, you'll find it at Nimnick Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Now, with Car Bravo and Nimnick, you'll save big and drive home with a smile. Nimnick Buick GMC can certify all makes and models. That means Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right, all makes, all models. Are you trading in your old vehicle? Well, don't forget, who gives you more top dollar for your trade? Nobody but Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com or visit their showroom off of Phillips Highway. And remember, There's a lot of ways to get used cars, but there's no better way than to do it with Car Bravo, and Nimnicht is the place to get your Car Bravo car for you. Head there today. All makes and models. They've got them all, and they've got them at Nimnicht. So what's the best place to get cars, trucks, SUVs? Well, that's easy. Nobody but Nimnicht.
Your play-by-play home of Bulls Bulldogs football is 1010XL.
The Bulldogs are road dogs as they head to Baldwin Friday night at 6:30 on 1010 AM.
Frank Frangie here. When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose Duck Duck Rooter, the area's most trusted service company. They're licensed, insured, and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations and full air conditioning service, they do it all. And with Duck Duck, it's done right. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter. If the Jags trust Duck Duck Rooter, so can you.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week,
Caleb White, senior football player at Mandarin High. Caleb is a member of the National Honor Society and won the Most Distinguished Cadet Award for the NJROTC. He's applied to Yale University.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here, as is JJ LaSelva. I'm Hayes Carline. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, we're going to start with the Jaguars. Day off today for the players, but with Monday Night Football in the books, we have a good record now in terms of looking at where the Jaguars rank in several categories. The one that really pops off the page, the Jaguars lead the NFL in takeaways with 9. To put that in perspective, the Jaguars have as many takeaways as these teams combined. Washington, the Jets, Miami, Dallas, Cleveland, the Giants, Houston, Baltimore, and Green Bay. All those teams combined have as many takeaways As your Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's an amazing stat. I mean, it's an amazing stat. It's also amazing that they have more now in 3 games than they had all of last year. How is that? They have more takeaways in 3 games than they had in all of last year. So, but the stat you read off is even better. That was half the league. It's pretty amazing. It's amazing the way they go get the football. It really is.
It is incredible, and hopefully it'll continue. They say it is contagious, so hopefully the turnovers will continue to be that way. Let's get it to around the AFC South. Titans coach Brian Callahan is turning over play calling duties to quarterbacks coach Bo Hardigree. I didn't know you were allowed to do that.
Well, you can't do it in college.
Oh, okay. That's the caveat.
You can do it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get you the rule book on that.
Yes, please do.
By the way, isn't it funny? We all thought the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when Mike Gundy got fired, we all thought, why not Billy Napier?
Right.
When Brian Callahan gave up, we all thought the same thing. I'll tell you this. I don't know about Brian Callahan.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it does it. It just from the minute they hired him, it didn't feel right, did it?
No.
From the minute they hired him, and good, by the way. But the Titans haven't been you think about this. The Titans haven't been a mess very often. They haven't always been great. But part of it's because for 78 years they had Derrick Henry, and for 78 years before that they had Steve McNair and Eddie George. So they've all, you know what I mean? Yeah. But they're a mess, and they haven't been a mess in a long time.
I think the Titans should hire Press Taylor if they move on from Brian Callahan.
I think they kind of did.
Yeah, good point. Let's get it to Houston. The Texans have cut safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, very volatile player, but a pretty good player. But Texans at 0-3 need to circle the wagons, and he is not known as being the best locker room guy.
Look, I mean, he's a good player, and they just cut him, and they're 0-3. That tells you all you need to know. The Saints, the Eagles, now the Texans. Everybody have found out the same thing about C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Really talented player, former Gator, good player, who's a hard guy to get along with. And in this day and age of culture, you see guys, we've seen it here, you see guys shipped out when they're complaining about, I mean, you see it. You see it everywhere. You see every team in the league now. You've seen, I mean, the Steelers ran off George Pickens. They just ran off C.J. Gardner-Johnson. These are good players. Micah Parsons gone from Dallas. We're talking about good football players, Hayes, that are gone because of how they acted.
Let's get it to around the NFL. The Giants bench Russell Wilson, launching the Jackson Dart era. New York hosts the Chargers on Sunday.
I'll tell you this. I've always been a big Russell Wilson fan, but I'm a really big Jackson Dart fan. It's time. We figured it out in the preseason. He's really good. I think he's going to be the Giants quarterback for a long, long time. And this is a team that's had some successful quarterbacks now. This is a team that had Eli Manning. This is a team that, say what you want about Phil Simms, won a Super Bowl for him. This is a team with great heritage. I think Jackson Dart's going to be really good there, Hayes. I really do.
Couple of notes from Tampa Bay today. Receiver Mike Evans probably is going to miss at least a couple of games with a hamstring strain. The Bucs have also signed defensive tackle Desmond Watson to the practice squad. The former Gator has battled weight issues throughout his career. Tampa Bay hosts Philadelphia on Sunday, so maybe a tush-push strategy is involved here.
Well, that's what everybody thinks. Everyone thinks they brought him in, they signed him, they put him on the practice squad, and they'll elevate him for one game. I think that's a conventional thing. Why not?
It'd be hilarious if he just started getting signed by any team that's getting ready to play the Eagles. And it's like, Coach, what do I do on this play? You just fall down.
That's exactly
just
right.
Like literally as soon as the ball is snapped, you just fall to the ground.
But that's the conventional thinking, is that's why they brought him in. Good for Dez. Is what I say. One other thing that you do, one other big piece of news out of Tampa that you clearly missed. They should go back to the orange Sherbert uniforms and never leave them. I loved it. You hated them, didn't you? Oh, I loved them.
They look so grotesque.
I loved them.
Yeah, I'm not a big uniform guy.
I hated them at the time.
The fact that I hate them is probably a good thing.
By the way, I hated them at the time.
Yeah.
I thought they were awful.
Yeah.
But now I want them back.
Yeah, I gotcha. Let's get it to college football. Big news day in Oklahoma. The Sooners star quarterback John Mateer will miss several weeks, it appears, after going through hand surgery today. Big news for Oklahoma. They just got a big win against Auburn. They're ranked in the top 10, and now you lose a guy that was a Heisman Trophy favorite.
And what a blow. Remember, they lost Jackson Arnold, who's a pretty good player, to Auburn in the offseason. Here's why that's a big blow. Oklahoma's been down a while, but they finally won the portal lottery, Hayes. They might have gotten the best portal player, and they were so excited about it, and then they lose him. I mean, and listen, it happens. Injuries are part of the game. Doesn't it always seem like the team for whom things are going badly, they continue to go badly. I mean, Oklahoma's had had a tough run of late, right? I say tough run. They haven't been Oklahoma. It finally looks like they're back to Oklahoma, and their prized possession, the number one lottery ticket, they won it, and then they lose their guy.
They do have a bye, and then they have Kent State right after that.
Right, so they have 3 weeks to get him back.
But then it's the Red River rivalry, Red River shootout, as it used to be called. And then it starts really getting into the nitty-gritty of the SEC. So maybe they thought, if we're going to do it, we got to do it now.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we'll see. Oklahoma couldn't allow Oklahoma State to carry the news day in college football. Oklahoma State fires Mike Gundy earlier today. The 58-year-old Gundy was in his 21st season coaching the Cowboys. He finishes with a record of 170-90.
Yeah, I met Mike Gundy, got to know him a little bit. I always liked him. I thought he was charismatic. I liked the fact that he didn't take himself too seriously in a sport where the coaches way too often take themselves way too seriously. But he's a really winningest coach, and he'll forever be a very big part of Oklahoma State lore. But this move was probably too late. I mean, they probably his time had come and gone probably before now, so I don't think they had much choice there. Mike Holder, the AD, had very little choice, I think.
Absolutely. We talked about the SEC schedule and the 3 permanent opponents. We will learn tonight the 2026 schedule for all teams. One thing in looking at Florida's schedule for 2026, when they, in all likelihood, will be bringing in a first-year head coach, first-year at Florida head coach. It better not be a first-time head coach, or we will have a problem. But looking at Florida's 2026 slate, very favorable for once. So they open with Florida Atlantic and Campbell at home. So
the Campbells are coming?
So you get two kind of warm-ups.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 warm-ups. We know Georgia, South Carolina, and Kentucky because those are the 3 permanent opponents. So they'll find out there's 6 more SEC opponents tonight, and they do go to FSU to close the season. But at least, Lane Kiffin, you'll be getting FAU, Campbell, South Carolina, and Kentucky. At least you've got 4 games that today look fairly winnable in year one, and we'll see what the league offers in the other 6.
I don't know if you realize this or not, but I've actually got a little intel on that. I've actually seen the schedule, and because of the way the SEC has been treating Florida of late, the other 6 games, it's weird the way they did it. It's Tennessee, LSU, and Alabama. They're playing them all twice, and both times on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah.
And then they're throwing in the Texas A&M road game because that's what they do.
Right, absolutely.
By the way, that's Lane playing his old club at FAU.
FAU. Yeah, and by the way,
that's right.
When Hayes said there's 2 gimmies, I'm like, I want to say that's 2 gimmies, but I said that this year too. Let's hope it's 2 gimmies.
Yeah, we'll see. No doubt about it. Let's get into Major League Baseball. Starting next season, MLB will implement an automated ball strike challenge system. Each team gets 2 challenges and keeps them if successful. MLB wants to cut down on ejections. Over 60% of ejections this season and last season were over balls and strikes.
Yeah, I think it was long overdue. The baseball's changed the game a lot. JJ, you made a very good point earlier. If you're going to do it, just do it and then make it robotic like tennis.
Like all the calls.
Yeah, and I think we're probably going there. I think at some point. But this will at least get rid of the egregious ones. And let me say this too, by the way. Balls and strikes are hard to call. This isn't because the umpires are bad at their job. It's because it's a really, really, really hard job. I mean, you've got to do it 200 pitches a game, all right? So for 200 times a game, you've got to be that precise. It's hard to do. This is not a commentary on how bad the umpires are. I think they're probably as good as they've ever been because they have to be with this K-zone and everyone can see it. I just think it's a really, really hard thing to do, and it's a smart thing to help them out a little bit.
We've talked about Cal Raleigh throughout the season, but it's just amazing what he's doing. The Seattle catcher has 58 home runs, 5 more than any other player this season.
Yeah, and I've got I should know this, JJ. Shame on me for not. But that's got to be a catcher record, right? Johnny Bench never did that. What I assume Johnny Bench.
It's a franchise Mariners record.
Yeah, I think it is.
I assume Bench
and it's a switch hitting record.
Bench.
I think he set like 3 or
Bench or Piazza would be the guys. I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
would be the home run
sense.
guys. Yeah. So, but anyway, this is what you're right though. I'm glad you put it out. He's at 58 home runs and nobody's even talking about it. Great point.
It's unbelievable. Let's get into pop culture. Moneyball was released today. Back in 2011, Brad Pitt stars in the film, which depicts Oakland A's GM Billy Beane's successful attempt to navigate the lowest payroll in the league. but build a winner based on a different approach to player evaluation. Nominated for 6 Academy Awards, Moneyball was also a commercial success, making $110 million on a $50 million budget.
You know, I liked it. Maybe I didn't buy Jonah Hill as Paul Lodapesta. Maybe that's what it was.
Well, he was supposed to be like two guys mixed.
Yeah, he was. And I know. And I liked it. I don't know that I loved it as much as everybody else did. Did you love it?
I loved it.
Did you love it?
I just actually watched it again like
You
3
did?
weeks ago. It was on like AMC or something.
I guess because the great victory in the end was a streak, not a championship, not a title. You know, I think if the great victory at the end wouldn't have been a streak, it'd have been a championship. I mean, you got to tell the true story.
It was based on real life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You got to tell the truth, and I know that. You got to tell the truth. I liked it. I don't know that I loved it like everybody else.
I agree. I actually loved the book because it's so much more about like baseball statistics and stuff like that, which luckily for Hollywood or smartly, they were like, we're not going to put all that in the movie. But yeah, I thought
that was good.
I thought it was a great movie, but not my favorite baseball movie.
And I never read the book, so the film was all I had.
If
But
you're
yeah.
not really into baseball, you won't love the book.
Good stuff. We will get you out on our musical note of the day. Today, we wish happy birthday to iconic rocker Bruce Springsteen. The boss turns 76 today. One of the greats to ever do it. This is Glory Days.
This is a baseball-related song. Thank you very much. Hayes Carline from the Bowl School may or may not have gotten a text this morning reminding you about that. But just in case you didn't have a musical note. I mean, you know, I don't know what you had planned.
I always appreciate help.
Oh, the boss turned 76. Boy, that made me feel old when I saw that today. The boss turned 76 years old. How about that? The great Bruce Springsteen. What great job as always on Headlines. Hour 2 is next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Speed.
45-50.
Talent.
How high can you leap?
Opportunity.
Just when they needed it most.
Listen for the Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game. Experience the universal difference on 1010XL.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenue. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. When deciding what lawyer to trust with your car accident or injury case, the most reliable way is reviews and results. You want to be treated well, and you want a great result. Woolsey Morecambe's reviews speak for themselves, and I challenge any firm to compare results. We offer the resources of a large law firm and the customer service of a boutique practice. If you want to be treated right and want great results, call Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY and take the fear out of the fight. Offices, Jacksonville.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Wing Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now with the big BOGO event. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family's secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here. Only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do. Stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
Prosser here again for Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts you can trust. You might think you have a struggle ahead, but Chad and Sandy always have a solution, and ultimately it ends in a success story. Jacksonville area homes are selling, but getting the right price requires aggressive marketing and proven systems. Hiring the experts who know how to create demand is crucial. You need Chad and Sandy Newman. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, stress-free. But, man, they deliver with the promises. The local real estate experts you can trust. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Oh, and the proof is out there. Tom and Nicole in Mandarin. I got a new job in Louisiana. We found a new home. Now we'd have to sell fast to avoid paying 2 mortgages. Chad and Sandy did it. Use them today. ChadAndSandy.com. That's ChadAndSandy.com.
It's the start of our favorite season in Jacksonville, football season. Let's get hyped and let's get the home in tip-top shape and let's get that house zero-resified. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, they'll take care of you. Call the folks at Zero Res right now, 287-5727. Ask for the 1010XL special. Get your 3 rooms of carpet cleaned at $139 plus a 4th room free. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp will be in the International League Championship Series beginning tonight at ViStar Ballpark, taking on the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders at 7:05. This is the first chance for Jacksonville to play in the International Series since the Jacksonville Mets won it all back in 1968. It's 87 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
Billy Napier needs to make radical changes during this bye week. I think it's the only way he can try to get something going from a momentum standpoint offensively. I would give up the play calling. I don't know that he will. This seems like a good opportunity to hand it off. We'll see if he does it. I also think you've got to go to Tramel Jones. I've heard Gator fans say this week, and I believe, Frank, I think you said it when we were watching the game the other night. If they had Graham Mertz this season, they would be potentially undefeated.
They certainly would have won. They certainly would have won the first 2. They certainly would have beat USF, and they would have been right. They were right there with Miami and LSU with miserable quarterback play.
And Graham Mertz is
might be undefeated.
He's such a timing player. And Tramel Jones, I get it. It was one game against Long Island, but he looks like he plays with the right timing in the offense. And DJ Lagway just does not have that. He's obviously in a boot. Who knows how healthy he really is. But you might have a guy in Tramel Jones that is ready to get out there and play against an elite defense in Texas and at least keep you on schedule because he understands the timing and the concepts of the offense. So if I was Billy Napier, I would give up play calling. I don't think he's going to do that. This is the perfect opportunity. But I would move to the quarterback that you have that probably is a little bit more like Graham Mertz, who somehow completed 70% of his passes in this elementary offense.
I agree with everything you said. Unfortunately, I don't think any of it's going to happen, but you're exactly right. The point you're making about Tramel and Mertz is a very good one. Whether it's timing, whether it's footwork, whether they feel more quarterback-ish, don't they? Lagway looks like a very good football player back there playing quarterback. Graham Mertz looked like he's in the NFL. I mean, he's on a team. He's on the Texans. He looks like a quarterback. Tramel Jones, that little bit we saw him, he looked like a quarterback. I tell you that Shane Matthews, who's one of my really good friends, he sees every play. He's a color commentator on the network. He's a 2-time SEC Player of the Year. He said Tramel Jones looks as natural throwing the football, dropping back, playing quarterback as anybody he's seen in a long time. And that was Shane's text to me the night he came in and played. And so I agree with everything you said. But here's the reality. The incredible stubbornness that is going to get him fired. We know he's going to get fired. The stubbornness that will get Billy Napier fired is the same stubbornness that will keep him from giving anybody else play calling duties. It will keep him from pulling DJ Lagway. Now, maybe the fact that Lagway's in a boot, I saw a report that it's nothing. He just got stepped on. He's fine. But you don't see guys normally on a boot when they get stepped on. Now, I know they don't play for a couple of weeks. Maybe they just want to stabilize it. Well, that's a question tomorrow. We will ask our friend Kevin Kaplan. And maybe that's a precursor to the way Billy can explain to his team and the Lagways and everybody why he's going to play the other guy some. But I think his stubbornness, I said this on a program yesterday. I said it on All Things Gators with Dan Hicken. I was on a show with Chuck Oliver, who does Southern Sports Tonight. I was on with Chuck today, and he asked me that question, and I said, listen, it's hard. I have contradicting opinions of Billy Napier, the person. Clearly, by all accounts, he's a very good guy. Nobody wants to hear Frank, you're always talking about someone good guy. I don't care. Well, whether you care or not, it's my opinion. And he's clearly a good person. He's clearly cleaned up the locker room. He's clearly built the culture. He's clearly really well liked in the building. He's clearly respectful of other sports and other players. And so those are such good personality characteristics. He clearly is all that. And that's a great guy to have is leading your football program that is that much good about him. But I'll also tell you this. He's stubborn as hell. There's an arrogance about the play calling. And there's a selfishness that he won't let anybody else do it. And I think that selfishness and that arrogance and that stubbornness is why he's not going to do what you just recommended, because everything you recommended would be good, and it's why he's going to get fired. That's my opinion. I think that's why a good man, you can be a good man and still be stubborn and arrogant and selfish at times. Well, Frank, that's not a good man. No, you could be. I think he's a good person, but he's stubborn, he's arrogant, he's selfish, and that will get him fired, which is why he will not do the things you just suggested, all of which were very good ideas.
And it's hilarious to hear the old ball coach talk about it, because Spurrier now is, this isn't just this week. He's talked about Napier, for a couple years now when he has struggled, and he's like, just change something.
Correct.
Just change something,
right,
so that it feels different for the players. Just something.
Right.
But you got to change something just to create the belief in your locker room that this might work.
And here's the problem. Great point again. Here's the problem. Last year they had the off week. Scott Strickland supported him, which I agree with. It was the right thing to do at the time. He didn't change anything, at least that we could tell. I mean, certainly nothing visible, and won. So why, in his mind, this off week's going to be just like last year's. We took the off. We weren't doing very well. I was on the hot seat. We had the off week. We relaxed. We got a lot of reps. Then we won all the games. So that's what he's telling everybody. That's what he thinks it's going to happen. Well, it wasn't Texas and Texas A&M and Georgia and A&M on the road and Ole Miss on the road and Tennessee and FSU. That's not who was it. It wasn't that. It was LSU at home, who was asleep at the wheel. It was Ole Miss at home, who was good but not great,
and always chokes late in the season.
And correct. And it was a really bad FSU team and a Tulane team that had no players. That's who it was. Okay. But anyway, it is what it is. The hardest thing, I was telling someone this today, it's now the waiting game. You now know that he's probably fired. You now know that it's probably going to happen during the year. You now know that Kiffin and whoever else's name is going to be in it. But you got to wait it all out. It's now that you know the inevitable, you're just waiting for the shoe to drop. He's not going to beat Texas and at A&M and Georgia and Ole Miss and Tennessee and FSU. He's not. That doesn't mean he won't win one or two of them. He won't. They won't surprise someone. Look, Miami's really good. They're second in the nation, and that was a 13-7 game in the fourth quarter. The defense will give them a chance to be competitive in all of those games. And Vernell Brown might run back a punt, or the other team may drop a punt. or Lagway might, because he certainly has big play capability from time to time. He may hit a long play. They may win a game or they may win one you're not supposed to win. That wouldn't shock me, but it's not going to be. He's getting fired, and that's the hardest part, is waiting out the inevitable, which is where they are. Let's take a break. I'll keep it on SEC Talk. We come back. Jeff Danzler joins me talking SEC football. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's a snapshot in time.
Unbelievable concentration.
But in the end, there's always a play that stood out.
And there's the biggest play of the day.
Listen for the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game on 1010XL.
Big number one Duval Ford is trusted by Duval families, Duval businesses, and law enforcement across Florida. We're Jacksonville's largest Ford dealer by new Ford sales, with the biggest service facility to keep everything in your driveway and in your fleet on the road. Shop Big number one Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue for our low prices and nationally recognized service-first experience. Big number one Duval Ford, proudly serving North Florida since 1916.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harold & Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold & Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold & Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
If you missed it, get it on demand.
And you send those out on the line.
Find your 1010XL favorites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com. Channel 5. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, Dan. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Brian Wall here with Window World. You know that awesome feeling when you finally find that one place to go to that will give you a top quality product at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you? That's exactly what Window World does. Top quality, energy efficient windows at a great price that keeps more of your money in your bank account. With the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business. That's why Window World has been the #1 window replacement company in the USA for years, selling more than 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Time now for the SEC Update with Jeff Dantzler from the Bulldog Radio Network and the Superstations. Presented by Underwood Jewelers. Here's Frank and Jeff.
All right. Thanks to our friends at Underwood Jewelers, best jewelers in town, have been the sponsor of this program for the longest time. We certainly do appreciate them. And my buddy Jeff Dantzler joins me now from the Bulldog Radio Network. Ooh, all kind of stuff going on in the SEC. Jeff, how are you, buddy?
Hey, doing great, Frank. I'm actually sitting here with one of Georgia's greatest players ever, Tim Morrison, who was an All-American lineman in 1980. So We're just sitting here getting ready for that Alabama game on his back porch.
Well, you know what? Then you've got a good plan. I can't think of a better plan, so you're getting ready. Well, good. We'll say hello to Tim for us for sure. We'll get to these games coming up in a bit, including a gigantic Georgia-Alabama game. But let's go back to the league a little bit and things that are going on. John Mateer, the news of the day, you've probably heard by now. John Mateer, thumb injury against Auburn, out for at least 3, maybe 4 weeks, going to have surgery. How big a blow is that to the league, to Oklahoma? I hated to see that one, Jeff.
I did too. I think he's a very special quarterback, and Oklahoma went from a team that's been around a 500 team, obviously, to all of a sudden, and I think as tough as Georgia and Florida's schedules are, I think Oklahoma's got the toughest, and they look like a top 10 team with him. And now without him, just that slate is so brutally tough. You just wonder if they're able to keep their head above water. I remember, Frank, we talked last week, as you pointed out, every SEC team on their schedule was ranked in the top 25.
Yeah. So it's going to be hard now. We'll see if they bounce. They do have an off week, then Kent State. So 3 weeks before they have to play one again. We'll see. Jeff, what did you think of Auburn in that game? I thought when Hugh Freeze got the job, he would do a great job. I was wrong. He hasn't. But he got his quarterback now in Jackson Arnold, the former Oklahoma guy. That was a heck of a game. They were 3-0. They hadn't played anybody. That was a heck of a game on the road against Mateer in Oklahoma. Now they've got to go to A&M. They're going to have to play Georgia after that. What did you think of Auburn? What were your impressions watching them last week?
Well, I do feel like this is the best team that Auburn's had in several years, and definitely Arnold gives them the most stability that they've had at quarterback. But with the schedule they've got, and I remember just when you and I were talking about it before the season, they opened at Baylor, then had 2 soft ones at home, and then to go back-to-back, Oklahoma and A&M both on the road. That is just tough sledding right there for Auburn. So I just feel like they're one of those teams, Frank, as we've talked a lot, that are they better? Could they get to 8-9 wins? Sure, but I just feel like in the league this year, I think everybody's good, and there's just no easy out. So, yes, Auburn is better, but it's kind of hard to find more than 7 or 8 wins on the schedule, isn't it?
Meanwhile, Ole Miss playing a decent Tulane team. John Summerall is a coach people like. Ole Miss buries them 45-10. This guy, Trinidad Chambliss, throws for 300 again. Look, everybody in Gainesville wants Lane Kiffin to be their next coach. I hear Lane Kiffin's name in my sleep these days. What do you think of Kiffin and Ole Miss? Well, I mean, from your perch in Athens, Georgia, what do you think of Lane Kiffin?
I think Kiffin is a tremendous fit at Ole Miss, and his career has kind of gone in reverse. When you think about, Frank, what we do for a living, by the time that guy was, 35, 36, he had already been the head coach of the Raiders, Tennessee, and Southern Cal. I mean, you're an NFL play-by-play man. It'd be hard to get radio gigs like that at that age, much less head coaching jobs. I think Kiffin's really good there. My advice to him would be just to stay there and live it and love it, because I mean, they were on the verge of the playoffs. So you think about them last year. They lost 3 very close games to Florida, and then LSU and Kentucky hit those 4th down plays. I felt like they were one of the 4 or 5 most talented teams out there. I thought they had the firepower that they could have played with anybody. And the other thing that he has done, he has obviously really mastered the portal. And as you mentioned, with a new quarterback in there, Simmons is really, really good. What Dart did, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but with that scheme and that system he's got, it's like a plug-and-play deal right there. And I think it's a great game with LSU coming up Saturday.
All right, this is my SEC bias is going to show, so indulge me for a second. Ohio State's really good. I watched Miami lay it to Florida. I think they're good. I think Penn State's pretty good. I haven't seen them, but I assume they are. Oregon's burying everybody. They may be the other best team. But I would not be surprised if Tennessee and Georgia are the last team standing. If I lost my mind, just having watched that game, Tennessee hung 56 again last week, albeit against a UAB team that's not very good. I think, and again, I'm a homer and I admit to it, right? But I think Tennessee and Georgia, I don't know that, with the possible exception of Oregon, that there's another team I would pick against one of those two guys on a neutral field. Have I lost my mind?
No, I don't think you have. I mean, I think Georgia's really good, and one of the things that we have to, in this day and age, and I think we've chatted about this as well, be careful with, there's not going to be an 06 or an 08 Florida, 2019 LSU, 2020 Alabama, 21 and 22 Georgia, just under this current format. And I kind of went through that with Georgia before the year, going through my anxiety and the different positions where I was worried. Then I started kind of looking through, trying to do some rankings, and I thought, there's not 3 or 4 teams in the country that I'd trade rosters with right now. It's just where we are right now in college football. And I think Tennessee's really good. And Frank, we've both been doing this a long time. I'm just telling you, that first quarter that Joey Aguilar had against Georgia 2 weeks ago, the guy was absolutely unbelievable. Plus, I think with everything that's gone on with Nico, and, much like Michael Scott, I'm just not stitious, I'm superstitious. I think they have some good karma and mojo on their side, the way they handled that. And I think they've got a much better quarterback for what Josh Heupel likes to do.
No question. He is better. And it's interesting that it's rare for a college program to get as lauded as they did for the way he handled that. When Nico started going the way he did, and I'm told by Jimmy Himes and my friends there, your friend John Adams, my friend John Adams, that it was all about the dad. Good riddance, and let's play the other guy. And I mean, they traded. It was a trade, and I think they wound up on top of that for sure. Let's get to some games, Jeff. I want you to pick some games because it's a heck of a week. I'm going to go through a lot of these games here that I think have significance. I'm going to start with Notre Dame at Arkansas. Arkansas, tough loss last week to Memphis. All of a sudden, Sam Pittman's right back on that hot seat. You know Sam from his years in Athens. Good guy, good football coach. Bob Petrino apparently is going behind the scenes and trying to get that job, at least on an interim basis. Can they hang on? Can they hang around against Notre Dame? What do you think?
I think maybe for a little bit, but my goodness, the way that Memphis game went down, that is just brutal. You're talking about the difference between being 3-1 and 2-2. Sam Pittman's a heck of a football coach. Bobby Petrino, when he was forced in there, I can't imagine what was going on behind the scenes there. And we've got some friends in the coaching business who have some pretty good nicknames for him. But that, to me, just created a tough environment. I hope Arkansas can hang in there, but I think Notre Dame's just a little bit too talented for him.
Jeff, Auburn's on the road at Texas A&M. Who do you like in that one?
I lean A&M, which makes me think Auburn might spring the upset on them. Plus, A&M, they got to sit around. As Kirby likes to say sometimes, when a team gets a big win that has an open day, he says, "Yep, they've been smelling themselves a little bit." So let's see if War Eagle can pull off the upset at Kyle Field. I'll take Auburn.
Kentucky is on the road at South Carolina. Were we wrong about South Carolina? I mean, did we all just drink the Kool-Aid and Lenore Sellers is so good and everybody likes Shane Beamer because he's a good dude? Kentucky may not be any good either, but were we wrong to drink the Kool-Aid on the Gamecocks, you think?
Here's the thing. South Carolina as an underdog is very dangerous, and they've bitten the Bulldogs many a times. South Carolina with expectations is a completely different animal. And with the exception of when Spurrier was there, when they are hyped and picked to finish high, it just doesn't happen for them.
Great point. And I think they'll probably win this week because I don't think Kentucky's very good. And I think Mark Stoops might be playing out the string there too. But I think you're right about it. Here's an interesting one. I just told you I think Tennessee's one of the best teams in the country, and I do. And I think they're going to go win in Starkville. But Mississippi State's undefeated. Is that one sticky for a while? I mean, it's a home game. Is it sticky for a while, Jeff, your opinion?
Yes, I think so. And I think with what State's done year 2 there with Jeff Levy with their offense getting going, I mean, that win over Arizona State was very impressive. And Mississippi State, that fan base, they really believe right now. And you know me, I've got that Mighty Munson and Coach Dooley in me. So Georgia has to go to Starkville between Jacksonville and that Texas game in Athens. So the Bulldog warrior in me is already peeking at that one. But I think State can hang around, but I do think Tennessee's got a little too much juice for them.
2 really good games this week, really good SEC games. I'll start with LSU at Ole Miss. That's the afternoon game. I think Ole Miss is going to beat LSU. I know LSU's ranked 4th. I've been unimpressed. I love Garrett Nessmeyer, but I don't think he's gotten much going there. And maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid again. Ole Miss is at home in that game. Jeff, can they beat LSU? Who do you like here?
I think they can. I've still got LSU number 1 in my poll because of the body of work. But the other part is, and I love talking with you about the NFL as well, in the end, it's about making the playoffs. And here's where, if you're LSU right now, and I get it, Ole Miss is their oldest rival. If they lose that game, it's not the end of the world. Now, in the pre-playoff days, it absolutely would have been. But you just wonder if that's the type of thing that might give them that spark. I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if LSU won. Again, I got them number 1 in my Bulldog Illustrated poll. But at the same time, Ole Miss seems to have some more momentum going into this. And I just think big picture, if LSU got hit a little bit, and maybe it gave that offense at least a little bit of a wake-up call. I can hear Brian Kelly yelling at me right now. Might not be the worst thing in the world for the Bayou Bengals.
Interesting stuff. And finally, on Saturday night, Fowler and Herb Street, they're going to be in Athens, Georgia. Those hedges are going to be trimmed. Those dogs are going to be barking. That band's going to be playing. Those lights are going to be on. Here comes Alabama. Ooh, boy, Jeff Danz. Jeff, you won't sleep Friday night before that one. I know that. Georgia at home against Alabama. What happens in the ball game in Sanford Stadium?
Well, it's almost always a close game when these two get together. What's funny, of all the mega showdowns Georgia and Bama have had here in recent years, this will be the first time Alabama's come to Athens since 2015, and it was ugly for the Dogs that day. A young Kirby Smart was Alabama's defensive coordinator, and Bama won 38-10 in the rain. So I like Georgia in this one. I think it'll be a really good game. I mean, I think something like 31-28, but I'll take Georgia in this one. But I do think for Alabama, just keep it in mind, they lost that game to Florida State. As we like to talk about week 1 overreactions, I'm with you. I think Florida State's really good, and you give a team as talented as Alabama a couple of weeks to hear how you're not any good, and they've been really good their last 2 times out. They had an open date as well. So I think it's a great game. I mean, here's the key, though. If Georgia loses, the Bulldogs still have some margin for error. If Georgia beats Bama, they are walking that tightrope, and the natives get even more restless.
Yeah, boy, you're exactly right. And here's the crazy thing. I'll make the dumbest comment ever, because nobody ever overlooks Alabama. Yet I almost wonder this Alabama team, because FSU beat them so handily, because they lost to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma and whoever last year, and because people aren't sold on Kalen DeBoer. As crazy as this sounds, I think people could overlook Alabama. Now, Georgia won't. Kirby's the best in the country at not allowing that to happen. But I almost think to the point that Alabama, of all the teams in the world, Alabama's the last team you think you would overlook because they're goddamn Alabama. But I wonder if that's it. But that's in play a little bit. You know what I mean with this year's team?
Well, if I'm Kalen DeBoer, I'd have been begging Emperor Saban to come by and talk rat poison for the last 2 weeks. And say, you guys aren't any good. Nobody believes you anymore. But if you look at just the talent of rosters based on recruiting rankings and transfer portal rankings and all that, Alabama still has, on paper, one of the 2 or 3 most talented rosters in the country. So I was doing my shows with Kirby yesterday. We're sitting there talking about, this guy was a high school All-American. This guy's all SEC. Ty Simpson's got 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. And Ryan Williams, who absolutely ate Georgia alive last year in Tuscaloosa, is probably the second best receiver in college football. So this is an extremely, extremely talented Alabama team. And they're going to try and break the streak. Georgia's got the SEC record, 33 consecutive wins at home. And I'm just hoping my Bulldogs can pull it out and get number 34 for Herschel.
Can't wait to watch it. Georgia and Alabama on a Saturday night. Jeff Dantzler talking SEC football. Does a great job from the Bulldog Radio Network and the Superstations. Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers. Jeff, great work, man. Talk to you next week.
Frank, you're the best. Great win, and I was really enjoyed listening to you on Sunday. That was a great win for the Jags.
I appreciate it, buddy. It was a lot of fun to call. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it.
Jeff Dantzler talking SEC football with us. We'll take a break. Hayes has the NFL Rewind after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Introducing the Jag Stack at Firehouse Subs. So bold, it's named after the home team. Stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, roast beef, provolone, fresh veggies, and the new Duval drizzle sauce. For a limited time at your local Firehouse Subs, there's only one hottest sub in Duval.
Football season is all about hanging at home and watching the big ball games. Well, if your AC and heating unit is letting you down and keeping those electric bills sky high, think about getting a new energy-efficient AC unit from Florida Home AC. They've got great deals on replacements plus rebates and incentives to make it more affordable. Call Florida Home AC at 777-4300 and get their expert staff to take a look. Football season is all about fun and playing for the win. Make sure you have the winning team on your side with Florida Home AC.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Quality work is sometimes hard to come by these days, and if you want quality and a fence that'll last, make the call to Duval. Duval Fence, that is, a good Jacksonville company with good Jacksonville people committed to quality service. If you need a fence for your home or a business, anything, just call Duval Fence at 260-4747. Give them an idea of what you're looking for, and they'll take care of the rest. Property fence, privacy fence, pool, or pets. Make sure you call Duval Fence today.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
I'm Frank Frangie. Now, I've been telling you about my daughter Amber's journey with Awaken 180. Well, ready for this? She has now lost 60 pounds. That number's real, 60 pounds in a little over 3 months. And here's the thing, she loves doing it. She just went on a trip to Tampa to see a concert, sort of a road trip. And I asked her, was it hard to stay on the diet? She said, Dad, that's just it. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change, and it's sustainable. And it's sustainable even when you're on the road. She is so excited. It has not changed her life. I think that's the best thing. It's a lifestyle change, but it doesn't ruin your life. She's loving her life, and she's so excited that she's been able to lose all that weight. You can do the same thing. You can kickstart your transformation. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It's working for Amber, and she's so excited, and I promise you it can work for you. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
The Golf Club of Southampton has big plans for 2026, renewing the greens plus plenty more. But right now is the time to take advantage of member opportunities before the big renovation. Now until the end of September, you can join and save 50% off their initiation fee plus $500 back in a gift card with a 12-month commitment. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Playability for every skill level and a huge practice area to hone your game. Lock in now and enjoy membership privileges at the Golf Club of Southampton.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
All right, it is time for the NFL Rewind on the Frangie Show, and we are going to start last night in Baltimore.
This drive starts at the 21, down by 4. Hand off to Henry, and he gets it punched out. It's recovered by DJ Reed. Knocked out on the play by Aiden Hutchinson. And it's yet another fumble for Derrick Henry.
The Lions get an impressive road win over the Ravens, 38-30. Detroit had 2 touchdown drives that covered at least 96 yards as the team improved to 2-1. The Ravens fell to 1-2 as Derrick Henry loses a fumble for the 3rd consecutive game.
That was Joe Buck on the call, who's so fantastic. And obviously the story is Derrick Henry fumbling again, which is what Buck said. Lost in, by the way, even my getting excited about watching the game last night was Aiden Hutchinson's back. Aiden Hutchinson's a good player. We lost track. We forgot about that. I forgot about it. He makes a difference with that Lions team. I thought the Lions window might have been closing. I'm guilty of being among those who thought that. Not at all. They looked really good last night.
Really, really physical performance without a doubt, and massive win for the Detroit Lions. Take us to Cleveland, JJ.
On the right hash, Daniel Whelan the hold. The kick is blocked. It is blocked. The Browns get the swat and turn the Packers away. Good snap. Good hold. The kick is on the way. The kick is good. The kick is good. And Andre Schmidt from 55 to give the Browns a 13-10 win.
The Browns pull it off. A shocker, knocking off the Pack 13-10 on a 55-yard walk-off field goal. Green Bay held a 10-0 lead with under 4 minutes to play before letting the Browns steal one. The Packers were trying to move to 3-0. Meanwhile, the Browns got their first win of the season and have something in rookie running back Quinshon Judkins, who ran for 94 yards and a touchdown.
They outplayed the Bengals and should have beat them the first week. They're an eyelash from 2-1. I don't think the Browns are very good, but in that division, the Steelers are 2-1, but I don't think they're very good. The Ravens are 1-2. They are pretty good, but they're still 1-2. Keep an eye on the Browns. Just see what they do. It'll be fun to watch.
Let's move to Philadelphia.
Joshua Carty has it blocked again. This time Jordan Davis. The big man looks for the icing on one big cake. Eagles hang on.
The Eagles rally past the Los Angeles Rams 33-26, blocking a field goal and returning it for a touchdown to end the game. The Rams led 26-7 midway through the third quarter, but had settled for 4 field goals. That kept the Eagles somewhat in it, and Jalen Hurts got hot, throwing 3 touchdowns. The Eagles remain undefeated at 3-0, while the Rams are now 2-1.
The Rams are pretty good, though. 26-7, you blow that lead. The question now is, can you overcome that part emotionally? Can you put it behind you and move along? Because that's 2 good teams.
Yeah, the Rams play the Colts this week, so that'll be one that we will definitely have our eye on. JJ, get us to the Big Apple.
Play 11 of the drive. Mahomes pumps, fires end zone. It is caught for the touchdown by Tyquan Thornton. Blanketed by Phillips. But somehow Mahomes squeezes it in there, and Thornton with a touchdown for the Chiefs.
The Chiefs finally find some offensive rhythm late to get a road win over the Giants 22-9 on Sunday Night Football. Russell Wilson was terrible for New York, throwing 2 picks with no touchdowns. Kansas City improved to 1-2, while the Giants remain winless at 0-3, and they will now turn to rookie quarterback Jackson Dart.
Yeah, the long Russell Wilson era in New York didn't last very long, and they did the right thing. Jackson Dart's going to be a good player for them, Hayes. And you know what? It might have been a painful way to get there, but they made the right call.
JJ, let's close things out in L.A.
Herbert to the air. Pipkins the block at the right tackle. Got away from Allen. Herbert alive, and the throw. Caught. Touchdown! Touchdown! Allen! What a play!
One of the most amazing throws you'll see this season. Justin Herbert rallies the Chargers past the Broncos 23-20 as LA moves to 3-0. The Chargers scored 10 points in the final 2:37. The 20-yard touchdown pass to Keenan Allen. If you haven't seen it, go find it. It was one of the best plays you'll see a quarterback make. The Broncos, meanwhile, now 1-2.
The Chargers have always, not always, but the Chargers have often disappointed. They've often been a tease. They've often looked the part and failed at the end. But with Harbaugh coaching them and the obvious development of Justin Herbert, that might be the biggest story of the first 3 weeks of the season. Is they are legit, Hayes, in a very good division, as you know. That, to me, that might be the story of the early part of the season.
Absolutely. The Chargers now already with wins over Kansas City and Denver, where most people thought they were probably going to finish third in that division. Even they went 11-6 and made the playoffs last year, but a very competitive AFC West. And, the Chargers, they look phenomenal right now. And Justin Herbert just looks like, this is the best we've ever seen him look.
Back, well done as always. Nice job on the rewind. Back to wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
NFL Thursday night, Week 4 starts in Arizona, where the Cardinals will host the Seattle Seahawks. Arizona will be without running back James Conner, who's out for the season. Seahawks at 2-1. Arizona also at 2-1. The Seahawks a 1.5 road favorite at even money against the spread. Arizona getting a 1.5 -120 on the money line. Both the Seahawks and Cardinals are -110. The over-under is at 43.5 with the under at -120. Sunday morning, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings will play in Dublin, Ireland. The Vikings a 2.5-point favorite with the over-under at 40.5.
Cash back for every bet with a G-Bank signature Visa card. VSIN.com/GBank.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Jacksonville is football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Keep an eye out for our custom Jaguar-wrapped plumbing vans rolling around town. They're hard to miss and always ready for the next play at your home or business. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, trust Duck Duck Rooter to keep you in the game. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Hayes Carline here to let you know about my new tailgate obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you'll love the new Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip. These are game changers, as delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You gotta try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at your grocery store.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. South State has helped our businesses and charity grow and thrive. Whether you're expanding your operations, managing cash flow, or planning for the future, South State Bank offers forward-thinking, tailored solutions to meet your unique business needs. With expert guidance and best-in-class service, South State is here to help you move your business forward. Visit southstatebank.com or stop by your local branch today. Let South State become your partner in taking your business to the next level. That's South State Bank, member FDIC.
Rick Ballou here with the congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, JohnAutomotiveJacks.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law. A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Old City named 904 Gutters with a Z, the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, where have we been in the course of the program today? We've talked about Jags and Niners and what a big game coming up for Jacksonville. Can't wait for that one for sure. Looking forward to that one, I can tell you that. And we'll talk more about it as the week goes on. Crazy day in college football. Mike Gundy fired and John Mateer injured. And in the NFL, C.J. Gardner-Johnson cut and Russ Wilson bent. Big day in news. We talked all about that. Talked a little bit about the Knowles in Virginia. That's going to be a fun one to preview. Comes up on Friday as well. Jeff Dantzler stopped by to talk SEC football with us. Been a fun show today as we've talked about a myriad of different topics over the course of the show. It'll be fun kind of continuing to preview Jags and 49ers. Is it assumed now that it's going to be Brock Purdy? Is that?
I think it's assumed is probably the right way. I think there is some element of doubt. But, and you brought up a good point about their schedule after this. Look, we know when an AFC plays an NFC team, those games mean the least. They count. It's a win or it's a loss. But in terms of tiebreakers, it's the least valued game in the league. So if you're Kyle Shanahan and you're playing the Rams next week, where you absolutely would like to have Brock Purdy available for that, and it is a toe injury, which we know could get re-aggravated. So I think Brock Purdy is going to play, but it does have to go through your mind if you're Shanahan, because he probably didn't know that he was going to be 3-0 at this point, not having Purdy for the last two games. So you sort of feel like you got a little bit of house money that you're playing with. So maybe you do put Mac Jones back out there, assuming he's fine. Again, he gutted out a knee injury, so I don't know what his status is. So I would think it's Brock Purdy, but I could see a team like the 49ers that obviously with that organization, it's pretty much Super Bowl or bust. Their window is going to expire here in the next year or two. They've got a lot of aging, expensive talent. So maybe you look at it and say, look, if we lose the Jaguars, we're 3-1. It's not going to have any effect on the tiebreaker. If maybe it makes sense to give Brock another week.
Don't rush him back.
So that we know we have him available for one of the most important games we'll play all year, which is one of the two games against the Rams. So I would think Purdy plays, but that's got to weigh somewhat on the 49ers' mind here.
All right, by the way, also, I want to thank Morgan Williams for coming by from Atlantic Coast High School. She is a terrific volleyball player and a Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. All right, college thought before we get out of here. So Oklahoma State fired its coach today, Mike Gundy. Virginia Tech has fired its coach, Brent Pry. Who
UCLA.
Else? UCLA fired its coach, Deshaun Foster. That's already 3 fired coaches. That really is a lot in September now. To have 3 coaches of Power 4 schools fired in September, that's a big number. And I know we talk about Florida all the time. We all think Florida, he'll make his decision. I think we all expect that Florida will make his decision sometimes mid-year. Do you think that becomes epidemic? Does anybody else get it now for a while? I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that was on the hot seat.
Maybe Pittman at Arkansas?
I was about to say they play Notre Dame on Saturday.
He could get it, couldn't he?
He could save his ass, too, though.
Yeah.
Beating Notre Dame goes a long way.
I think they hang around with Notre Dame.
Yeah, they're only a 6-point underdog at home.
I think they hang around there. So you're right. Pittman could be the next one, couldn't he? He's because I'm trying to think of the hot seat coaches that went into the season on the hot seat and have not yet been fired. Napier tops the list. And they're doing badly. Napier tops the list.
Wisconsin, Luke Fickell.
He's way up there. Yeah, and
what year is this for him there?
Let me look.
Is it like, because it feels early, but it's been a disaster.
It feels correct.
He's been there since 2023.
So this is year
3.
So year 3. Can Wisconsin fire a coach before his 3rd year is complete?
Yeah, they could, because it's been this bad. I mean, say what you want about Wisconsin. Wisconsin has been competitive.
Yeah.
They're almost always competitive.
Right.
They're not even competitive.
They used to always win at least like 9 games.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they're not.
What is his record there?
So he went 7-6. Last year they were 5-7, and this year they're 2-2. But they've looked helpless.
So what I wonder,
I don't think they fired him midseason.
What I wonder about,
I mean, assuming it's only about the X's and O's,
right?
Yeah.
And the wins and losses.
Does any of this, in your opinion, affect the Florida search, assuming there's going to be one? Your first thought is, well, Florida's job is more blue-bloodish than any of those others, so they'll be looking at a different pool of candidates than Arkansas or Wisconsin or Virginia Tech. But I don't know that. I mean, if Brent Key's the hot guy or Eli Drinkwitz is the hot guy, we would think they'd rather have Florida than any of these other jobs. But if Oklahoma State, Wisconsin, UCLA get ahead of them, and football tends to be regional too. Brent Key's probably not going to UCLA, and I get that. But I just wonder if all of that affects
I think
Florida.
really with Florida, they're going to be the belle of the ball unless DeBoer gets fired.
That's right. But he's probably not.
I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, how are they going to feel Saturday night if it's Georgia 41, Alabama 13?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. But my guess is Florida's the belle of the ball. But I do think here's what I think. Florida is the only one that makes a run at Kiffin, if they even do. After that, I think it's the same pool of candidates for everybody. I think it's Drinkwitz and Brent Key and
Fran
Brown, and I think it's the same pool of candidates for a lot of these jobs.
Well, I think I don't even think if you're Drinkwitz or Brown, are you leaving your schools to coach Virginia Tech or Wisconsin?
No.
I don't, and certainly not UCLA.
Good point. Very good point.
I mean, to me, it's
Arkansas, maybe.
I'd leave Syracuse for Arkansas in a second.
I would too, but I'm not sure.
But Hayes' point's right.
But I might not leave Missouri for Arkansas.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah,
I agree.
Your point's right. So
and I wouldn't leave Georgia Tech for Arkansas.
So back to your bell of the ball point, which was a good one. Provided another blue blood doesn't come open.
And Alabama's really the only one, again, barring somebody like leaving for the NFL, that almost never happens.
I mean, something funky could happen. LSU could lose 5 in a row, and all of a sudden, and then there's a blue blood open. But yeah, it's not likely. You're talking about what's likely and what's not likely. No, I hear you.
Yeah,
and
I still think DeBoer is going to end up in trouble. Now, I don't know that they will fire him. But I was not at all impressed with Alabama against FSU, and I know they've played better since, but they still haven't really played anybody of consequence.
Yeah.
And I think Georgia is going to embarrass them.
Yeah. You think they're going to roll them, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. That'll be interesting to see. Interesting stuff. All right, let's say hello to my buddy Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
What's up, Ballou?
What's going on?
You like the new baseball system, the ABS system, whatever it's called? Do you like it or no? The challenge system?
I kind of read through it and I was like, I think I'll pause until I have more time to really digest it. They've really sped up the game. This is going to slow it down.
Well, and by the way, that is a great point. It will slow the game. I'm glad you said that. We didn't get to that. But here's why it'll slow the game down. If it's 10-2, umpires widen the zone. You can't widen the zone now.
No, you can't.
Typically what you would do is widen the zone.
Right.
So it will. That's a great point. And I hadn't thought it will slow the game down.
Yeah, absolutely. So it goes, kind of goes against everything that they've been trying to do and trying to change. So can't we just leave things alone, man? Everything changes, The
world changes.
Yeah.
Rick, you've always been a guy that likes change, haven't you? Blue's always really liked change.
Well, a lot of change today, huh?
Yeah.
What a day.
I know.
Sports.
We went
incredible.
I know. And the John Mateer we went through, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Russ Wilson getting benched. A lot of stuff going on.
We got all that coming up. I'm going to check in with the coach, Gerald Ingram, get his thoughts on this rushing offense and, what Houston did to really stop that in the first half, and then some adjustments Jacksonville made, and just going out on the road now and winning a game against a beaten-up San Francisco team that's still undefeated, very talented. So we have that coming up tonight, a lot of college football as well.
All right, Rick Ballou goes into the night. That comes up right now. Folks, that'll do it for our program. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock, as always. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.